A very good morning to Computer Science Patines. Let us start our lecture for today, and today's topic of lecture would be Chapter 6 Recursion. Actually, recursion is basically related to functions only. We have read the complete chapter of functions in Chapter 3, right? So we will be reading out the further extension of it in Chapter 6 as well. So what is recursion? Recursion refers to a programming technique in which a function calls itself either directly or indirectly. Okay, so in previous chapter what we have seen that there is a function call that is calling the function definition, and inside the function definition we have given the work that a particular function has to do. Okay, so function call can be anywhere inside any other function, inside the same function. Okay, but the function definition we were giving in chapter 3, it was on the topmost part of the program. Okay, so actually function call can be anywhere. It can be inside any other function, or it can be within the same function. Okay, so when a function calls itself, means inside the function definition we are giving the same function call. Okay, same function call means the same name of the function call has been given inside the function is known as recursion. Okay, so when a function calls itself, it is known as recursion. Okay, recursion can be direct or it can be indirect. So we'll be better understanding this concept with the help of example. See, this is your function definition. How do I know this is the function definition? Because def is written, def indicates we are going to define a function. This is a keyword. And what is the name of the function? That is a. How do I came to know? Because before this parenthesis, whatever is written is the name of the given function. Okay, so function a is there, and that is calling function b. How do I know that it is calling b? Because inside this body, this is the function definition of a, and curly parenthesis indicating that it is the body of this particular function. Though we are writing like this, okay, this syntax is actually used in C, C++. In Python we are using like this. It should be two dots like colon we have putting here. By mistake they have put it here. It should not be like this. It should be dots. Okay, like it has been done here. Okay, so def a, then colon, then this will become the body of this function a, and b is the another function that is being called inside the definition of a. Okay, so now b is being called, but who is calling b? B is a. Okay, when a will be coming into execution, then b will be called up. Okay, if inside the a is calling itself, so this is known as recursive function. Okay, so when a function calls another function, that is not recursion. When a function calls itself is known as recursion. So here also it is explaining. Now function a is called itself from own function's body. This is known as a function, recursive function. Okay, so this is the name of another function. Definition is given here, rec. Okay, this is the name of the function, and inside this body of this function definition we are calling the same function again. So this is also called recursion. This is called direct recursion, when a function calls itself directly. Okay, now you see this example, def a. So we are defining the body of function a. Inside it I am calling b, and when you are going inside b, okay, see, whenever function call comes, it takes you to the function definition. So when you get this, okay, so you will be taken here. Okay, so inside the function definition of function b, you are calling a. So again it will go here, it will call b. Okay, it will be transferred here, then again it is. So indirectly a is being called again. So again recursion is taking place, but indirectly. Okay, so there is no direct recursion. Here is a direct recursion. Recursion function is calling itself inside its body. Here A is calling B and B is calling A. So again it is coming back to here. Okay, so this way the recursion happens. This is your direct recursion and this is your indirect recursion. A function is said to be recursive function if it calls itself. Okay, I hope the concept of direct recursion and indirect recursion is clear. Direct recursion, if a function calls itself directly from its function body, and indirect recursion if the function calls itself calls another function which calls its caller function. Okay, I hope it is clear. You can see these diagrams also to make the concept more clear. So when a function is calling itself, this is a recursion, means inside the definition it should be two dots, it should not be semicolon, it should be colon here. Okay, wrong it is. Okay, def A, inside it you are calling it again, so this is direct recursion. Here you can see function 1 is calling 2 and 2 is calling 1. This is indirect recursion, means A is calling B and B is again calling A. This is indirect recursion. Okay, likewise A is calling B, B is calling C, C is calling D and D is calling A. This is also indirect recursion but a longer version of it. Okay, so these were the different types of recursion. Two types of recursion are there, direct and indirect recursion. See here some function definitions are also given along with the body. So func1 is the function, this is the function 1, definition is given. Okay, this is function 2. So in function 1 it will first print hello function 2. Okay, so firstly it will be printed, then function 2 is called here, so it will go to the function definition. Here inside it will print yes function 1. Okay, then function 1 is called again, it will go here, so it will print hello function 2, then function 2 comes here, it prints yes function 1. So it's an indefinite loop, it is an endless loop. So this type of practice is not preferred because there is no stop in between. This will go endlessly. So we must design a recursive function in such a way that it comes to an end also. It should be finite, it should not be infinite. So this type of function will become infinite. 1 is calling 2, 2 is calling 1, 1 is calling 2, 2 is calling. This is a indefinite loop. This is not at all acceptable. We should use a function, recursive function, in such a way that it should come to an end also, it should stop. Either this type of function will go indefinite. So this we are not practicing, so we'll let you know. So we must see how to come out of this situation. So you need to give certain condition that will go wrong sometime, then it will come out of it, otherwise it will be indefinite loop. Or we can use exit function, break statement we can use. Okay, so we can use various ways to get out of these traps if we are trapped in. Okay, so I'll be discussing this recursion in more detail because I'm in doubt. I think we will not be able to continue this chapter till your exams will be over in UT1. So I am just giving you for just a introduction about recursion. Okay, and a topic which is not related to it but is a part of this chapter only, that is binary search. This binary search technique you would have read in your 11th class also, I think, but still I am going to repeat it properly. So this you will find on page number 246 of the same chapter. In chapter 6 you will find it on the 246 page number. So I'll be taking the recursion in detail later. If the lecture will still that will be continued still on Monday, I'll be taking up that recursion in more detail. Otherwise it will not be useful to introduce it for today only and then give a break of 1 week. So I'll be continuing only this binary search today. Okay, so binary search also it is helping us in implementing the recursion. Okay, because see why we are doing using this concept of recursion, because when a similar type of task has to be done again and again, and for performing that task we need to call the function again and again, then why to bother someone to call the function? Okay, I should call myself till the particular task is complete. Okay, why the teacher should say you should revise? Why don't we be bothered about till our test is not finished? We should keep on revising. So this is what the recursion is doing. He is not bothered about the teacher to tell you, better this is your preparation time, you should use it. Rather, it is taking care itself that I must do this particular work by my own till it gets over. Okay, till the chapter is not prepared by you, you should not leave that chapter. You should keep on practicing that chapter by your own. This is what recursion is trying to implement. Okay, till the complete work has not been done, it will keep on calling itself. Till the condition goes false, it will keep on calling itself. Okay, so see, recursion is not a means a must step. We can do our work without recursion also, but recursion helps us to do that particular task without writing much code in your program. Okay, so just to shorten up, to make the things easier, to concise your program, we are using this concept. Okay, so we can do binary search without recursion also, with recursion also. So firstly I'll be introducing you without recursion, so that you may understand the concept of binary search very easily. As the name itself is telling, searching. Binary search. Search means you are going to search an element inside a given list. Okay, so what this binary search technique tells, here you need to search an item from a given list. Okay, but the first foremost condition for binary search technique is that before you start searching an element inside a particular list, it should be sorted. Okay, and it can be sorted either in ascending order, or it can be sorted in descending order. So it is totally your choice how you want to start up, but in general ways we are using the ascending order concept. Okay, so we need to arrange the given list in ascending order first, then we will be performing the binary search. So this is the first condition that should be fulfilled, then only you can implement this binary search to search a particular item, otherwise this will not be implemented. Okay, so item is that variable that contains the element that is to be searched. Okay, so and the most important thing, you will be reducing the size of the list by half in every step. Okay, half of the elements you will be throwing out of your list in one go. Okay, and finally you will find your item that you are trying to search, if it is present in that list, at the mid part of the newly formed list. Okay, so I'll be explaining it in a better way with the help of example. So firstly, read this condition. Binary search can work for only sorted arrays, whereas linear search can work for both sorted as well as unsorted array. Okay, so here you can see this diagram. This explains the concept very easily. Look at this diagram very carefully. So let us say this is your list that contains the elements. Okay, and you will start your search from this point and you will move till this point. So first element will be known as your low element, and the last element will be known as the high element, and we will be calculating the mid also. If n elements are there, we will start with 0 and we will end up n minus 1, and we will calculate the mid also. How to calculate mid? Low plus high divided by 2 will give you mid. Okay, so before I take this, I will take a array that will help you. Okay, let us say this is your list that you need to search. Okay, here array, he is saying array means data structure. It's a data type actually that helps you to store your data in a consecutive manner. Okay, so we will be having a input like this, and we will start our index from 0 and we will go up to the maximum number it accepts. Okay, according to the elements only. So first element index is 0, second element index is 1, and the last element index is 11. So in total we have 12 elements inside this array. Okay, is name of the array is data. Okay, name of the array is data. Like we have list, like we have tuples, like we have dictionaries, similarly we have arrays. Arrays are basically used to store the similar type of data. Like we are storing all the integers. Likewise we can store all the floating point numbers. What is a string? String is a collection of uh, characters. So all the characters, when you are storing together, you will get a list. Okay, so here you can see we have 12 elements and first element is 10. So what will be the mid? Which will be the middest element? So 0 plus 11 plus 0 plus 11 divided by 2 will give you the mid, and that is to be taken in integer form only. Okay, so beginning is 0, last is 11. So 0, we are using the index. Okay, beginning is 0, last is 11. Beginning is 0, last is 11. So 0 plus 11 divided by 2, and then whatever the outcome, if it comes in floating point, we'll convert it into integer. Okay, we're using typecasting here. So int 5.5 will give you 5. Fine. So how you will write it? Why we are writing data? Because the name of the array is data only. Okay, name of the array is data. So data 0 is 10, data 1 is 12, data 2 is 14, data 3 is 21. Likewise data 11 is 53. I hope you understand. Okay, so data mid, how you are calculating? Mid is referring to 5, fifth. Actually that is the sixth element. So mid is this 5. How we are calculating it? 0 plus 11 divided by 2 will give you 5.5, but we are converting it into integer. So 5, it will be data 5 is 28. Data 5 is 28. So we got 28 here. Okay, so we are comparing. Okay, 28 is less than 44. So what we need to see, what is 44? Actually we need to search two numbers inside this array. We want to search whether 44 is present here. Manually though you can see 44 is here, but we need to write a program, or we need to implement this binary search algorithm or technique, we can say, to find the given number inside this array. Although 36 is not present, we can see it manually, but how the program will search for that, we are writing the steps. Okay, so what you can see, data 5 is 28. 28 is less than 44. Why 44? Because we are searching 44. So we need to compare the mid that we have just calculated with the number that we are searching. Why we are using this technique? Because it is giving us answer in very short duration of time. It reduces the size of the array in one comparison by half. How? Now you see, mid has been calculated, and you know this array is sorted. You can see they all are arranged in ascending order. So if you know 44, if you have calculated the mid, okay, and you know it is a sorted array, so where you would find 44? Towards the right or towards the left? Of course towards the right. So no need to search it in the left part of it. Okay, you have calculated the mid, and now if mid is less than the number you are trying to search, mid is less than means 28 is less than 44, then you are not supposed to compare or check it in the this part of the array. You need to search 44 in the right side of the left out array. Okay, this will get omitted. Okay, before whatever mid was there will get omitted. Okay, this was beginning, now beginning will be this. Actually not this, this will be the beginning. Okay, we will write mid plus 1 is the beginning. Now we will start searching this 44 from 6 to 11. Now again we will try to extract out the mid. Now the beginning is 6, okay, and the ending is 11. So we will write 6 plus, we will write 6 plus 11 divided by 2. That will be 17 by 2. Okay, and this 17 by 2 will give you integer value. Although you will get 8 point something, but we will take 8 only, integer value. So now next mid will be 8. We will neglect it. Why? Why? Because in mid we have, this is mid now. Okay, so mid we need to compare 42, then we'll compare 42 is greater than 44. Is it greater? No. If it is greater, 40, if 42 would, the mid they have calculated, if it is greater, then you need to search it in the left side array. If it is not, then you need to search it in the right side array. Okay, so 44 is smaller than 42 is smaller than 44, so we will go in right side searching, otherwise we would have gone in left side searching. Okay, so this time we'll go for right side again. So new beginning will be 9 and ending will be 11. Okay, you see here mid is again beginning plus last divided by 2. 6 plus 11 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, so 8 is 42 here. Mid of data of 8 is 42. 42 is less than 44. We are searching 44 na. If we are searching in lesser part of it, we will not find it. 42 is less than 44, so we need to search in this direction. If we have exceeded the number we are trying to search, then we'll search in backward direction, otherwise we'll search in forward direction. Okay, data 8 is now indicating 42 and 42 is less than 44, so your beginning will be here, 9 to 11 you will go. Okay, so now we'll compare, new beginning is 9 and ending is 11, so 9 plus 11 is 2. Okay, so it will give you 10. Okay, now you will find your element here at the 10th position, and it was 49. You can see here also at 10th position you have 49. Now you were searching 44 and now you have got 49. So where you should go? Further to search or back you should go? Mid is now 44. Now we should search in backward direction or forward direction? Obviously in backward direction. So from where to start? From 8 we should start and up to 10 we should go on. Actually from not 8, actually we'll go from this part only. So 9 to 10 we will go. You see here. Now you see 9. Okay. So see, when we are searching in forward direction, forward we are going, so beginning will change. Beginning will be mid plus 1. Mid plus 1. If we are searching in backward direction, then the beginning will remain the same, but the last will be changed. Last will be whatever the mid you have calculated, mid minus 1 we will do. Okay, mid minus 1 we will do. Okay, so mid minus 1 will get you the last point of it. So see, you see here again, you will start your search from 8 and you will go up to 11, but here again you need to find mid. So 8 plus 11 is 19. 19 divided by 2 is 19. 19 divided by 2 is what? 19 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, so 9 you are getting here also. So for data 9 is 44. Okay, so you are getting 44 this time. So at the end you will find the element you are searching at the mid only. You keep it this thing in mind. Okay, now getting back to the example again. See here, if your whatever number you are searching, after calculating the mid, if it is smaller than the mid, then you will search here. If it is greater than the mid, you will search here. Okay, again you will find mid of this particular. Okay, and if your number is greater than mid, then you will search here, and if the number is less than the mid, then you will search here. If you will search here, then the last position will remain the same, but the beginning will be next to mid. Okay, but if your number is in this side, okay, so then your mid will become, means your last position will be mid minus 1. Mid is indicating that your number is on the either on the left side or in the right side if it is not at the mid position. Okay, so if number that is on the mid is not your number that you are searching, if it is less, then you should search it here, and if it is bigger than the mid, you should search here. If you need to search here, then starting point will be next to mid, so it will be mid plus 1. Okay, it should be mid plus 1, and if it is to be searched in this direction, then your last should be mid minus 1. I hope it is clear to you, and beginning though you know better. Okay, fine. So this way it will go. So here the algorithm is also explained. Beginning initially will be on the low and last will be at the upper bound. Okay, so we have to go until beginning is less than last, we have to go, then we need to calculate mid is equals to beginning plus last divided by 2. Okay, so mid you will find, then you will compare mid with the item. If it is there, then you will say the search is successful, and if it is not, mid is not the item that we are searching, then we will search. If the mid is less than item, means whatever mid you have calculated, item is bigger than that, then we will go to search in the right side, then the beginning will be mid plus 1, and if the item you are searching is less than the middle item, okay, so you should search in backward direction, then the last will become mid minus 1. Okay, and if you have searched the complete array and you have not found that element, then you will say search is unsuccessful. Okay, so you can try another example. Another example would be you need to search 36 in the same array that is given here. Okay, in this array you need to search for 36. Try it yourself, beta. Thank you.